Welcome to episode number 30, and in this week's brilliant business interview, you'll discover the following 3 business insights. Number 1, a simple play on words that led to a 600% increase in sales. Number 2, are there really any friends when it comes to building a successful business? And number 3, the upsides and downsides of building a business with your family. So stay tuned for all of that and so much more on this week's special episode of The Truth About Business. I'm Benjamin Brain, and by day I'm a director of a multi-award-winning family-run business. And by night I interview successful business owners to share their journeys, experiences and truths to serve as inspiration, motivation and first-hand education for like-minded entrepreneurs and wantrepreneurs to fast-track our own business success. This is the truth about business, told by those who have been there, done that and have the scars to prove it. From the good times to the bad, the marketing strategies and sales tactics to the productivity hacks and success habits. I'm here to give you the de-sugar-coated version of what it's really like and what really works. If you're thinking of starting a business or are already in business, I created this for you. So let's get started. Before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to Ali West, who left a brilliant 5-star review on iTunes for the show. He said, I listen to many podcasts and this one is awesome. I recently listened to Benjamin's podcast with Matt Elliott. I really enjoyed the questions asked and the way Benjamin got his guests to open up and provide great insights into business. Their podcast is packed full of value. I highly suggest you give it a listen and subscribe. Keep up the great work. Thanks for your great comments, Ali. Clearly a man of good taste and is also a fellow podcaster who specialises in health, fitness and well-being with the Kinetic Fitness Show. So if you want to shout out on next week's show, you know what to do. Now let's get back to this week's interview. In today's episode, I talk business with Michael Brain, who is also my dad. Michael is the co-founder of the successful Derby born and bred and nationally acclaimed estate agency firm Hannells, which provides people-focused services in residential sales, residential lets and student lettings. The eureka moment came for Hannells back in 2003 after Michael and his business partner, then wife Alison, were watching a TV programme about estate agents which mentioned in the end credits that there were no qualifications required to start out on your own. That triggered a sequence of events and 17 years later, Hannells has grown exponentially, only to then be hit hard by a devastating recession, weathered the downturn, recovered and grown again, has had numerous members of the family join, some only to leave and then come back again, and has won multiple outstanding awards, including being named as the very best estate agency in the country at the 2019 EA Masters Awards. So to find out more about Michael and the services provided by Hannells, you can visit the website at www.hannells.co.uk, or you can find Michael on LinkedIn under Michael Brain. This was another brilliant interview with, dare I say, an inspirational entrepreneur who embraces going against the grain and has no problem ruffling a few feathers along the way. And for the first time, he shares his own story, the challenges he faced and the lessons he's learned along the way, including a few home truths about working with family thrown in for good measure. You know, success leaves footprints. So let's take a walk with the co-founder of Hannells Estate Agents and my old man, Michael Brain. Okay, so I'm here with my dad. And I think when you think about it, a lot of these questions that I'm going to ask you, you know, before I was born, your life is a mystery to me anyway, so it's going to be as much of a learning experience for me as it is for the guests on the show or the listeners on the show, even though you are my dad. But I suppose that's the same for most people in life. You never really talk about what happened before you came about as the son or the daughter.
No, that's true. Yeah, you weren't even thought about when I started out working. I mean, yeah.
So let's start where it all began with. Your first job. Where was it? How did you get it?
Well, my first job was when I was 16. I went into selling car parts in Melton, where I came from. Yeah, and it was really just like over-the-counter service and stuff. Yeah, and all these people from garages were coming in and stuff, and even salesmen were coming in fetching bits. And I thought you sold cars and stuff like this, and that's what you wanted to do. And then I passed my test, and I really wanted to be like a fireman or a policeman. Yeah, and I applied for the police. I remember I applied for the police. And it was a long process in those days. And while I was doing that, there was this job at a Datsun dealership. People remember Datsuns, now Nissan. And I went over there, and before that I'd done a little bit of, a friend of mine got a commercial vehicle. I used to go and do weekends and things, and they were all sorts selling commercial vehicles. And I thought sales is a good thing. So I went for this job at Hannells, and I think I was, before I was 18, and I lied through my teeth. So I'd been selling these commercial vehicles and things like that because I just wanted the job, and it was a company car and everything like that. You know, in my age, cars when I was 18 were like, not many people had them. And the guy turned around to me, he says, and his name was Colin Bates, I always remember him, and he says, God, you're a good liar. He says, but you convinced me you've got the job.
So he knew you were lying.
So he knew I was lying.
But you were good at it.
But I was good at it, yeah.
Is that one of the prerequisites of a good salesperson?
It was one of the good prerequisites of a good salesman, yeah. So, no, I got the job, and that's where my sales career started. Yeah, at Hannells in Loughborough.
So where did that desire come from then to be in the forces, like the policeman or the fireman?
I haven't got a clue. It was just something I wanted to do, especially fire. I used to, you know, people who listen to this, who, if anybody knows me from years and years ago, will say what I used to do in fire. I just thought it was an exciting. I've always had an interest, and probably as we go on, we'll get into the rescue work I've done over the years and things, but I just always had an interest in it. You know, it was just something that just flicked my switch. But the problem was, then I got a second interview for the police, but I'd been selling for 6 months, and I was earning good money. And then I looked at the wage that a police cadet would have been on and what I was on, and it's just no comparison.
So what did you do with the second? Did you just not turn up? Or?
I just said, no, I'm sorry, not applying.
Okay, so but you were successful in that first 6 months then of not having done a sales position before at Datsun?
Oh yeah, I was, yeah. And in those days, you used to get paid like weekly, and you used to get paid commission, and it was pound notes in a brown envelope. Yeah, and I was earning good money. I had a company car, petrol paid, everything, and yeah, it was sort of a high life for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, so were you successful because of the training that they gave you, or were you just a natural-born salesperson?
No, look, I believe, one of my strongest beliefs will go through this, you cannot train a salesman. Yeah, a salesman is born, yeah. You can give them the tools to do the job, yeah, you can give them the tools and things. You know, I used to go on endless sales courses, I became a sales trainer and things, and you know who a salesman is, yeah, and you know who somebody's trying to be a salesman, and you know that. So, yeah, you can't train a salesman to sell. Yeah, you can give him tools to do the job, but I believe a salesman is born.
Okay. So what happened then after you turned down the second interview for the police?
I just went from strength to strength with sales. I mean, I think I was 18, I was at Loughborough for about a year, then I got transferred to Abbey Road in Leicester. I became the youngest sales manager at 21 for Hannells, and then that's when all the corporates started buying back all, you know, like the big people like Inchcape and things, and Nissan wanted to take their own. It became Nissan by that time. They wanted to control all their dealerships, and that's when they bought Hannells out. And then my career progressed from then.
So you made that transition from going to a salesman to a sales manager,
yeah.
And you see that happen quite often. You've said a salesperson is born.
Yeah.
Do you think good managers are born, and do you think good salespeople make good people managers?
I don't think I was the best sales manager, I'm being honest. Yeah, but I was a good salesman. So in those, you know, in sales environments, you have salesmen, you have sales controllers and things like that. But I was always good at closing the deal, yeah, and putting the deals together. So that's what I was good at. Yeah, I wasn't the best at paperwork. I never was for years and years and years. My paperwork was absolutely typological. Yeah, but because I could produce the goods, they weren't bothered. Somebody behind me sweeping up.
Going on through your 20s then?
Yeah.
Where did your career take you next?
Well, from there, they bought this and they built this big super dealership on Abbey Lane in Leicester. And I went there as a sales controller because they brought their own managers in. And then we used to have this corporate guy. His name was Gary Robinson, I always remember him. And he used to come in on Monday, get the best car, go on a Friday, and he used to earn more money than everybody else. And I thought, that's a good job. And then another position came up in the corporate side, selling to businesses, and I applied for it and I got it. And that's probably where my forte lied, because corporate business is so different from personal business. It's all about building relationships. It takes years and years to build them, and as we go on, you'll see what I've done over the past And it was it was just about building relationships and talking to people. And as we say, you know, like I've said, salesmen are born, not, you know, one of the key things that a salesman must have is adaptability. And that's adapting to the situation he's in, whether he's talking to a dustbin man, whether he's talking to a Sainsbury's worker, whether he's talking to an MD or a chairman of a company. He's got to be able to adapt to those levels. And in the corporate industry, you've got to be able to do that. And I was really good at that. Next, I was at Nissan for a few years. And then I got approached by the general manager of Nissan in Nottingham. You were born by then. Yeah, and I went over there. I thought, and he paid me lots of money, and I thought, you know, I felt bad to the DP who I'd been with for a few years. I felt really bad, but, you know, at my age then, what was I, 24, 25? I thought...
See, I've never really even thought about the age that you were when I was born.
Oh, I know.
So that's when it was, when you was 24, 25?
I was 26 when you were born.
Okay.
Yeah, 26, earning good money and doing things like that. So anyway, this Nottingham guy approached me. His name was David, I can't remember his other name. And said, oh, come and work for us, you're doing great guns over there, great guns over there. Yeah, and somebody says, oh, be careful, he's a bit dodgy, you know. I said, no, he's paying me lots of money. So I went over there, and I was there for 8-9 weeks, and Nissan fired him and brought my old DP to look after both dealerships from Leicester and Nottingham. So that was a bit embarrassing.
Oh, so how did he take that move then when he came over to Nottingham? Was he not very pleased with you, or could he see... Right, okay.
Wasn't a happy chap. No. He put me back to Leicester, because he could. And then so, you know, Nissan then, they had one good car and things like that, and I wanted to get further on. And then I thought, no, this isn't good enough for me and stuff. So I started looking around, and I got approached by Managington in those days.
By where, sorry?
Managington.
Oh, okay.
The part of Inchcape Group now. And they offered me a job as fleet sales manager. Going over there, and I thought, Rover cars, bloody hell. I'd sooner sell Nissan. But I went there on less money. But then they brought this product out, the Rover 200, and boy, yeah, it was payday.
Sold like hotcakes.
It was payday.
Did you know they were going to do that, or was that just...
No, it was they were bringing it out. I didn't know because they didn't look at the product. But it was, Jesus, it was just payday. By the time I was finished at being a fleet manager with Inchcape, I was selling nearly 4,000 vehicles a year on my own.
4,000?
4,000 to corporates. I had all the big boys. I had Avis, Godfrey Davis, Boots, British Gas, Electricity Board. I had all the big boys, people I've been courting for years and years and years and years.
And that was a result of the relationships you've been courting over those years?
Over these years, yeah. Yeah, you know, like Birdie Paints, you know, they used to take one bluebird every 3 months, yeah. When I got to Manchester, they were taking like 10 Rovers every month, so 120 a year, yeah, because that was a popular product. So
instead of going for the customers that would buy a few a year, you were going for the ones who were going to be getting multiple cars a year.
Yeah, just one thing to emphasise to you know, why people buy off people. Yeah, I had a fantastic relationship with the buyer from Boots. Yeah, and they bought Rovers, Ford, Jaguar. They bought every vehicle. Yeah, and Inchcape had all those franchises within the group. Yeah, it came to a point where Alan Humphreys said, "Right, we'll buy those cars, but we'll only buy them from you, Michael." So I can supply, even though I work at a Rover dealer, I supplied their Fords, their Jaguars, I supplied Citroens, Fiats, any franchise we had, they came through me and went into Boots. So it just shows if you get those relationships right in business, yeah, and that trust, people will buy you.
But then what happens when that person that you build that relationship with goes?
Luckily he stayed. He was quite young until I left Managington. Yeah, Managington was, I was there for years. I probably worked there less hours because I was always golfing. I was always in London. I was always lunching. Like every 4 weeks, your mum will tell you, I used to go to Manchester on a Friday night to Avis and take 36 people out, 36 buyers. I used to take them to the Chinese, get them drunk, get them sloshed, yeah, and then come home.
And, well, technically you say you worked less, but that was work, wasn't it?
That was work.
That was building
relationships,
yeah, that led to all the car sales.
Yeah, and then Monday morning I get probably 150, 200 orders for Avis. That's how it was. It made it to work.
So how did all of that then, the car sales background, clearly it's something that you were very good at, you had a passion for, you had a passion for the sales side, you had a passion for vehicles. that led to the launch of, eventually, Hannells, the estate agency. How did that come about?
Well, when I became a fleet sales manager, then I became a regional fleet sales manager, and then I became a fleet sales director. And the director was more about, most of the job was just employing people most of the time. Yeah, but it's about getting the people out in front of people. That's what it was. And this is where the transition from me leaving the motor trade to going to the industry I'm in now came. It was hard work, and I think it was when the recession was here. And I had responsibility for the north of England, so I had about 86 fleet sales managers in centres and stuff, and they just weren't getting appointments. So I came up with this idea, said, right, so I'm a director. Yeah, if I ring and want to get in front of Virgin, they'll speak to me because I'm a director. Yeah, so I came up with this idea to, instead of calling them fleet sales managers, we tried it in the northeast, in Sunderland, Tyningware, all around there, and we put them as fleet sales directors, only in title, only in name, not in title or anything like that.
It was on the business card.
It was on the business card. Yeah. So when he rang up, I'm the fleet sales director for Inchcape, Ford, or Rover, or Citroen or whatever, yeah, and they got in the door, and like their appointment rate went up about 600 and something %.
Just from changing that manager to director?
Just changing that manager to director. Then, so we tried it northeast, then we went to the northwest, and then my managing director, then Barry Badham, said, no, it wasn't Barry Badham, it was John Meaden, yeah. He said, Mike, fantastic, this is working, let's take it to the board, because of the board meeting. So anyway, I went to this board meeting, and it comes to, there's about 12 regional managing directors and millions of directors and stuff. And then it came to John's turn. He says, right, he says, I've come up with this idea. He says, and my eyes perked up. He said, what I've got Michael to do is, I've got him to do this. Yeah, I've got him to change the direction. And we've tried this, it's 600%, and it's gone up 540%. So hold on, John. I says, no, you didn't get me to do it. So it was my idea that I brought to you. No, Michael, he said, no. He said, that's...
Really? Well, and he was that blatant right in front of you, with you sat there?
In front of the chairman and everybody, yeah. And you know what I'm like? I'm less hot-headed now than I've ever been.
Reactive is probably
reactive,
the word.
Yeah, reactive, yeah. I said, no, John. And he said to me, no, mate, it doesn't matter about that. I said, no, John. I said, you're messing with my career. Yeah, it matters to me, yeah. And I'm sure it matters to all the others. Yeah, no, Michael. Anyway, Michael, just be like, and Richard Martin, the chairman, said, just give us a minute, Michael. I said, well, what we've done this, and it's increased this, it's done that and done this, and we've rolled it out northeast, northwest, and we're coming down to the Midlands, and it's just working, and I want to roll it out. And he said, that's great. I said, hold on, Richard. I said, who are you saying great to? Are you saying great to John, or are you saying great to me? He said, well, whose idea is it? And John Meaden said, it's my idea. I said, John, I said, I lost it. John, if you don't tell the truth, I says, me and you're going to fall out in front of all these people, yeah, and I think I'm getting a little bit annoyed. And he says, you can't talk to me like that. I said, John, if you want to go outside the door, and then that's it. Richard Martin stepped in. Michael, you can't speak to a managing director like that. You need to go outside. And then Richard came out and said, got to let you go. You can't talk to a board meeting to a managing director like that.
And that was it?
That was it.
How old were you at the time?
36, 37.
So looking back on that event now, obviously discounting what happened moving forwards and where you are now,
yeah,
would you have done anything differently in that situation?
No, definitely not. No, it's your idea. We employ people now, yeah, and we want them to grow and grow and grow in the business, so we listen to them, yeah. So, if you gave me an idea and I went to JB and says, oh, yeah, I've got this idea, John, blah, 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 and he thinks I'm a blue-eyed boy, and it's your idea. It's, where are you going? Where's anybody going? Mm. The whole idea is to rise and rise and rise. And I still think if I stayed within an Inchcape, I'd have risen even more dramatically.
What next? What did you do then? You had all these success, increasing the appointment rates, and then...
Didn't have a job. Did a few things, went into contract hire leasing and stuff like that. I did well. I did very well because I had my corporate clients and stuff, but it wasn't me. And by then I'd met Ali. Ali was a mortgage advisor and stuff. And
for those that don't know, Ali was your wife.
Oh, Ali was my wife, yeah. For 15 years, yeah. We had a great time in 15 years. Would I go into business with again? Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. The thing is, when you go into business with a partner, I think you've got to... There's it's like you're in the business as well, yeah. I think you've all got to have different assets. Yeah, you know, mine's sales and marketing and business-to-business relationships, yeah. Alison's finance, yeah, and staff, yeah. Yours is a bag mix. Yeah, I mean, in the younger days, you know, we used to work well because I had the ideas and things, and they used to say, Ben, go and do that and get it and bring it back. And that's how it worked. And so, you know, we've all got, you know, if me and Ali were the same, I don't think the business would have worked.
You have to complement each other rather than be the same as each other.
You've got to complement each other. So if you're having a business relationship, you've got to complement it. Yeah, if you're both the same, I don't think it would have worked ever.
So where did the idea for Hannells come from in the first place? What sparked it?
ITV3.
ITV3?
Yeah. There was a program on, we just tried to sell our house in Chellaston, and there was a program on TV about estate agents from hell, whatever you call it. And at the end of it, it said there should be more like, what's the word I'm looking for? More controls over estate agents, because anybody can be an estate agent. And me and Ali looked at each other. She did mortgages, compliments, house sales. I do sales. And then 3 months later, we opened Hilton.
So from having that initial light bulb moment, 3 months later, you'd open the branch in Hilton.
Yeah.
How did it go?
Hard work. Phenomenal. Just went strength to strength to strength. You know, yeah, we did a silly price. Everybody knows we did a silly price. We bought the market. We bought the market share. But it was, you know, I was, in those days, I have eased off. I was a Rottweiler. I wouldn't go out of the house until you either told me to pee off, excuse my French, yeah. I wouldn't go out of the house until you agreed to go see Ali for a mortgage and signed up with me. Just wouldn't leave.
How did customers take that? Did they admire the enthusiasm, or did they take that as pressure?
Well, they did, yeah. It was hard at first, but when we started selling, you know, it was worthwhile. Because they knew we were going to sell the house. They knew we were big in Hilton. So if anyone was going to sell a house, it was them. But we put loads and loads of hours in those days. Yeah.
Where did the name Hannells come from?
Ali's mother's maiden name. Don't think many people like brains outside the door, you know, and things like that. So no, it was the H that did it, you know, because it was the old boards were a big H with Hannells through the middle, and it just looked good and it just looked right. Yeah, and it was a good brand. So for that, and I'm all about brand.
Yeah, for that first 12 months, what are some of your fondest memories? I mean, it's back in 2003, so it's 17 years ago now. But what are some of your fondest memories of that first 12 months?
My fondest memories? People don't know I'm an emotional person, so it'll come out probably in this interview.
You're about to release a side of you that people haven't seen.
Yeah, people don't know. My fondest memory is that picture of Ali sitting behind the desk before we opened.
Oh yeah, still the one upstairs in the original office. Yeah, I've got that in my office. It's a memento of the early days.
Yeah, it's my fondest memory. Yeah.
What would you say your biggest challenge was for that 12 months? Because obviously Ali had the mortgage side to it. You had the sales side, so you'd go to the office downstairs in Hilton and do the house bits. Then you'd go upstairs and Ali would sign you up for the mortgage.
Yeah.
But neither of you had been estate agents before. What was the biggest challenge if you could pick one?
My biggest motivation, we were starting up in business and we went to see Bates Weston. Yeah, I'll say the name because it's people should know, and I'm not going to hide anything. Yeah, and we went to say, we need an accountant.
So Bates Weston, they're an accountancy firm.
They're an accountancy firm, yeah. And they said, what are you going to do? We said, we're going to set up an estate agent. And they said, not really. We don't think it'll work, so you're not for us.
Got that one wrong.
yeah, they got that one wrong. And then they did try quarters afterwards and stuff. But no, I don't know how people can make that decision really and stuff like that. But what I did, I think where Hannells outshines every other estate agent, I was corporate. I was corporate through and through. Yeah. And it's all about the service. Yeah. It's all about the courting. And I think, anybody who knows Hannells knows them for service, how they look after people. And it's just like, it was like, I tried to bring the corporate industry into the sales industry, and I think we did it successfully.
Were there any surprises during that first 12 months in terms of, okay, this is what we think it's going to be like running an estate agency, but this is actually how it's turned out?
It was just fun. You're working 14, 15 hours a day, but it was fun because, in those days I was like, 41? Yeah, it was just like, the kill every day. I was getting the kill every day. The signature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get that one on, get that one on, get that one on, get that one on, and it was. Any good salesman, gets motivated by the sell. Everybody says what motivates me. It's not money. Yes, I have a nice lifestyle and I can afford things and things, but the motivational for me is the success. Because if you're successful, you'll have the trappings. Yeah. And I've heard people say, and I've heard a few people on your podcasts and things say you can't do it in a year, you can't do it in 2 years, it'll take 3 years to become an entrepreneur. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. You're either an entrepreneur or you're not. There's no trying to make yourself an entrepreneur.
So like a salesperson, you think an entrepreneur, you've either got it in your DNA or you haven't.
Yeah. One of my favourites. So a lot of people think I'm arrogant, in business, But to me, it's you're going to ask me a question later, and this is going to be answered to my question. I know what's going to probably come. But arrogance is confidence only a businessman can understand.
Okay.
And I think arrogance is confidence that other people can't understand. Yes. So it's.
So you think a lot of the time when people have labelled you as arrogant, they've actually misunderstood.
I've probably understood. They have. But I protect my business and I protect my family. I protect my business and my family the same. My business is my baby. It's I don't work as much as I do now, and because I've got you in the business and Ali, and you're phenomenal what you both do. And I'm just there tweaking and touching now and then. But I still protect it like anything in the world, and I'd still do, and I always will. When I retire, if I retire, I still will. It's my baby and stuff. So, and I think you've got to have that arrogance in business anyway. If you want to go into business, just remember one thing. There are no friends in business.
Oh, controversial.
Not controversial. There's no friends in business. They will stitch you up as much as anything, to get a deal.
Can you give us an example? Like, where did that mindset come from? Was there one specific thing in your life where you just realised, or that gave you this belief that, well, as a result of that, I've now realised there's no friends in business, so this is how I'm going to be now? Was it the result of a single event or just multiple events over the years?
It's just multiple events. There's no friends. Everybody's out for themselves. It is. And in business, you've got to be that selfish. I want to feed my sons and my daughters and my family. And I'll do anything to do that. It's an old famous saying. There was my old director at manager when I was there was David Jaxley, lovely guy. Some people might know him because he's from Derby, but he always told me once. He said, Michael, he said many years ago, somebody told me and taught me a lesson, and I'm going to teach you that lesson. He says most people, will follow somebody else's path to be successful. He says, but the art of success is to create your path for others to follow. And if you look at Hannells, whatever we do, all the other stations follow us. So, and I saw him a couple of years ago, and he said, I see you doing it. I said, what do you see you doing it? And he just brought that phrase up again.
Wow.
So, he says, you've done what you should have done, because people are following you all the time.
I think that's sometimes where people go wrong as well. It's like I say, success leaves footprints, but actually it would be impossible to copy somebody else move for move because of the situation of the time, the skill sets they had, the contacts they have. So like you say, you've actually got to create your own path for somebody else to follow. I like that.
Well, we do. It is. If you have that mindset to do that, it's we came into a difficult industry, estate agency, and in those days, Ashley Adams were the Blue Eye Boys and Frank Innes were everywhere and stuff like that, and it was a tough. So if you're going to go into business, and you want to copy a business, great. But if you're going to copy a business, be better at it. Anybody can do anything they want, but you've got to be better. If you want to make a watch, make a better watch. If you want to be a estate agent, make a better estate agent.
Although that's not possible in Derby.
It's not possible in Derby. A little bit of bias there from Ben.
So how when it was that competitive, and it still is even now, you still don't have to have any qualifications to be an estate agent or a letting agent. But how did you market yourself during that first 12 months? How did you actually get the name out there from going from a cold start to from nobody knowing who you were in a competitive market to taking over Hilton?
We were out every night leaflet dropping. Every single night leaflet.
So wearing through the shoe leather?
Wearing through the shoe leather. In the snow, in the rain. I used to go out at like 6, 7 o'clock. I'd come home, Ali would do my tea at 10. We'd be at work at 7. And it was just like a train.
Relentless.
That's what you had to be. Any business is about brand. It is. I got a good friend of mine, Ross Smith. He lives in Bali now. and he runs this company called Mindshelf. Yeah, and Mindshelf is all about you've got a Mindshelf in your head. Yeah, and that Mindshelf remembers things. Yeah, so whatever you can get onto that Mindshelf, people remember. Yeah, and this is why I'm so strong.
You've got to give
about
people a
brand.
reason to remember you.
Yeah, exactly.
That is like valuable real estate to be on that mine shelf.
To be on that mine shelf. So when they think estate agent, they think Hannells. When they think shopping, they think Marks and Spencer's or Sainsbury's or Aldi or where they're going to go. Yeah, if you want a steak, good steak, where you're going to go for it. If you want a good estate agent, where you're going to go for it. And our figures, we're not going to talk about how good we are, but that's our figures prove that. We came up with a little plan. We don't want to do what the other agents do because we want to be different. So we went into conurbations of areas where we thought we'd make a difference, and that's what we've done.
What was the reason for picking Hilton in the first place as your first location?
Oh, because the growth. The growth was phenomenal. They were building, and we just drove past the shop and it was there, and £400 a month. And there was 2 desks downstairs, 1 upstairs with some curtains in the kitchen. Yeah.
And so you mentioned there that you put a little plan together before you started.
Yeah.
How much of a plan did you have? Was it a full-blown business plan that you tried to stick to, or was it just this is who we're going to be, this is where we want to target, let's go out there and make it happen?
Well, this is going to be controversial. People say you've got to make 3-year plans, 5-year plans, 10-year plans, business plans. Load of crap. Yeah. Business changes every day. Situations change every day. Yeah. It's like now, if we had a 3-year business plan, if coronavirus closes the country tomorrow, we're bugging. Where's my plan? I didn't put coronavirus in there.
Yeah.
It's
like Mike Tyson says, isn't it? Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Exactly. Exactly. So, you can make a 3-year plan. Yeah. What I do and what we've done and what we've done in the past, I've seen you do them, Ben, when you do them. It's a guide. Yeah. It's only a guide because situations change every day and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the time people that want to start in business, and we talked about this on the last podcast, they procrastinate because they think they've got to have this perfect plan, when actually if you just started it, the next step will appear, and then the next step will appear, and then the next step will appear.
Yeah, well, it is. We're not, if you look at all the billionaires around the world, apart from the Arabs, because they're rich from oil, they're all in the 70s, 80s. They've all been successful for years and years and years, but they're only now accumulating the wealth.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for 30, 40 years to get to the wealth.
Yeah, I think they say it's not until you at least reach your 50s that you start to see,
exactly.
that you even start to see the real sort of wealth.
There's very, very few genuine self-earned billionaires, younger ones.
Yeah.
There aren't, because it takes years and years and years. We've been going 17 years, and I'm £1 billion off £1 billion, but
not quite a billion.
Not quite a billion, but if I'd have started this when I was 21, I'd probably be somewhere near there. But I didn't. I started it too late.
So Hannells started in March 2003.
Yeah,
that was when the empire was first born.
Yep.
There was good times for a few years. Then the recession came, 2007.
Yeah.
Now, the story that I tell when I'm talking to people about this, because every time we get a new member of the team on board, we take them out for the coffee, I'll give them the history.
Yeah.
And I don't actually know where I heard this from. It was probably from you, or it was probably from Ali. But I was in the business then, because I didn't start in the business until I'd left college. And I'd never had any intentions of coming to work here. I'd never even thought about it. I knew, obviously, that you owned the business, but I didn't really know where I wanted to go in life. I had no idea. I was going to go to history and do uni, and then I thought, well, I don't want to write books about history, so that would be pointless. I was working part-time at Halfords at the time whilst I was at college, so I could have gone and been an assistant manager there whilst I sort of found what I wanted to do. And then you rang me and said, do you want a job here? And I thought, well, yeah, I've never actually thought about that, but yeah, why not? And that must have been about, I don't know, maybe 2006. Started with a desk and a phone, calling people about new houses.
Yeah.
And then... So for the people that aren't in the estate agency world, we have a pipeline, which is basically all the sales that you've agreed, and then you have a certain timescale between them reaching exchange and completion. So that's the money that we've obviously got tied up in a pipeline when we're waiting to exchange and complete to actually come into the business.
Yeah.
So when that recession hit, from my remembering, it was like almost overnight.
Oh,
2/3 of buyers just pulled out of the sales, and that's 66% of the cash flow for a business disappeared.
Ali disagrees with me, but I know these figures because they're in my head. Yeah.
Okay.
In September 2007, I think we sold about 145 houses. Yeah. In October 2007, We sold 22.
You can't plan for that. And like you say, going back to the business plan, how on earth can you plan for that?
Yeah. So we had, I think it was 13 branches and a lot of franchises, Mansfield, Belper, other places, lots around town. It was pick the nearest tree, really. Because, like, what we're going to do? We just started, we just invested over 100,000 quid into a brand new mortgage company. Yeah, way over 100,000. Yeah, we've taken on 7 new advisors. Yeah, 1 for each branch, and to spread among the other 2 branches. I thought, what we're going to do? So it's.
Did you have any idea it was coming, or was it for everybody in the industry?
No. Nobody knew it was coming. Yeah, you don't know when a recession's coming. Yeah, everybody says there's going to be a recession now because of coronavirus. It'll be over in a couple of weeks, then we'll all be back to where we are. Don't be fooled by what press. Yeah, press are scaremongers. We all know that. Yeah, so it's you don't know when the recession's coming, and you don't know how long it's going to last. You don't know anything. Yeah, none of us do, because none of us are that bright or intelligent. Because if we were, we'd all make millions when it was a recession. So don't be fooled by that. So, as you say, in those days, I was figure mad. Yeah, I got figures every morning from every branch, and I used to go through it 2 hours in the morning. Every morning I was figures, want the figures, stuff like that. So the cash flow, and I thought, how are we going to do the cash flow? We need the cash flow. We need cash flow in the business. And I just had a spark in my head. It was just like, right, what we'll do a fixed fee. They pay half up front, non-refundable, because it's cheap, because they're getting solicitors, they're getting the house sale, they're getting
removals,
home information pack.
Yeah.
And, we worked out that if we take 120 houses on, we'll probably sell 60 in those days. Yeah, so we'll sell half. But if I take on 160 houses and they pay me half up front, non-refundable, that's better than.
Yeah, and that's the model that a lot of these online agents have adopted now, isn't it? All these years later.
Yeah, but it's like, but it means that I'm still selling the 60 houses because I get the full money.
Yeah,
and that's what we came up with. So it was 995 up front.
And that goes back to that adaptability that you talked about in terms of what it takes to be a good salesperson. You've adapted the business to the conditions and the situation at the time.
Yeah, it did, and it got us through.
Yeah.
I can sit here hand on heart and tell anybody in the world, we've never, ever borrowed a penny from the bank in 17 years. And they still treat us like crap.
But I think sometimes when you do get money from the bank, all of a sudden you think we've got all this money and you start spending on loads of stuff that you don't actually need, and it makes you sort of financially complacent.
I talk to other businessmen and say, why do you use your own money? Why don't you use the bank's money? Well, the bank charge you interest. Yeah, so that's interest that can be in my pocket. Yeah, so it's always been a self-funding business. I think me and Ali are strong believers in that. We always have been. We don't want to borrow from the bank. It's like we've bought businesses over the last year and stuff like that. We've not gone, we've done it out of the business, and that's what our cash flow's for. And that's what you sit and plan with Ali and stuff. We know when we're going to buy a business, how we're going to buy a business, and how we're going to flow it. So, it's not just being a good salesman, it's being a good finance person in business. You've got to know your figures, you've got to know your finances, yeah. But as for plans, back to the question, they're out the window.
Now, I've never asked this question of you before, and I know you've said earlier you're quite emotional. But I'm not going that deep, but how hard was it knowing that you'd put all this work in to get Hannells to the point where it was at 2007, where for a long time already we'd been the top selling agent in Derby, and then all of a sudden to have that recession kick in, which you had absolutely no control over. How much of a punch to the face was that? How did it feel? Or did you let yourself feel it?
No, it just motivated me.
It motivated you even more?
Yeah.
It didn't knock the wind out of your sails?
No, well, yeah, obviously it knocked the wind out of my sails a little bit, but you got to get on and pick yourself. We've had low. We had Derby City Centre was a failure. We've had Mansfield was a failure. Belper was a failure. We've had failures. We've done failures in other things in business. We did I Spy. It was a failure. But if you don't have these failures, they'll cost you money. Yeah, but you've got to get yourself up, dust yourself down, and move on. Yeah,
and take the lessons from them. Yeah.
And with all respect, we did I Spy, but a lot of things we learnt in I Spy, we've now implemented into Hannells, and it's made Hannells a far better company. So, but you just got to dust yourself up, get off, because you're not an entrepreneur or businessman if you can't do that.
Yeah, if you don't fail.
If you don't fail, you've got to fail.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who's never failed. I've read Richard Branson's book, Alan Sugar's book. I've read them all. They've all failed at some point in their life. Yeah, and they still do fail. They still make failures. You know, Alan Sugar makes mistakes on his program. You know, he invests in the wrong person and it fires up and stuff. Yeah.
So what would you say? You know, it's been 17 years now since you've been the master of your own destiny as a business owner. What for you have been the benefits of that? Like, what have you enjoyed about being a business owner? Because you've come from obviously a long time being employed in the corporate world.
Well, this can get emotional now.
Maybe I should have saved this till the end.
Yeah, you should say that to the end. You want honesty, truthfulness and stuff?
That's what we're here for. It's the truth about business.
Well, I don't think I was the best dad in the world to you and Ollie.
Oh, okay, we're going down there. Okay, this could get emotional.
No. I was. Listen, I was like in 19. When was it? 1988, 89. Yeah. You were 2 years old. Me, unfortunately, no, sorry, you were.
Yeah, I'm 86, so I would have been 2, 3.
Two, 3 years old. Yeah, I was earning 80 grand a year.
And back then, 80 grand a year.
80 grand.
What would you say that's the equivalent of now?
Oh God, must be 200 grand now. Yeah, and running around in a Mercedes 190E. Yeah, single man living on my own. And no, I wasn't. No, I wasn't the best dad. But what I've done now, yeah, grounded me, and I think I've paid my dues, and been able to do things for you, and Ollie give you good careers, and you know I've paid. That sort of it's enabled me to do something that I wanted to do. I don't think I'd have done it if I hadn't been on my own, because I couldn't have done what I've done for you or Ollie or anything now.
Yeah, okay, I understand that. But in terms of, okay, so that's what you've enjoyed most about being a business owner, is the life that you've been able to provide for your family around you as a result of it.
Yeah. But I've also enjoyed the success of the business. I also enjoy it when everybody says, "Oh, yeah, Hannells, yeah, you know." And I do believe, you know, I think I'm one of the most known characters in Derby. Yeah, because I put myself out there, because I'm all about brand, Hannells brand. Yeah, and I know you and Ali don't like it when I go off and, well, we've got to do this, but I'm all about the brand, and I always have been about the brand. Yeah, and it's, you know, I always remember the Derby Telegraph put, yeah, I can't remember what they put. They put one of the most synonymous names with Derby, Hannells, and I thought, I made it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that a lot of people that don't realise either, is that we are a Derby born and bred, family-run business. Yeah.
But no, it's enabled to do lots of things. You know, I like my cars, and it enables me to do that. I like my holidays, it enables me to do that. But you can't just sit back and think that's doing that, yeah? Obviously, you know, I've taken more of a backseat over the last 2 years before because of the age and things. Yeah, but I still tweak it, and I still do my bits that I need to do and I want to do, because I still want to benefit. I regret we didn't grow earlier. I think we should have grown a lot earlier, and but we're growing again now. Ali's of an age and you're of an age where you can take the business a lot more forward than I can. And yeah, I think we'll conquer the whole of Derby eventually.
We're on our way.
I do believe. Yeah.
What would you say some of the downsides are then of being a business owner? We've talked about some of the things that you've enjoyed. What's on the flip side of that?
What's on the flip side? To owning a successful business, I don't think there's any downsides.
Okay.
What downsides can there be to owning a successful
business? Well,
business?
so for example, some of the previous
I've not
guests.
got Bentley. That's a joke. Yeah.
But some of my previous guests might have said, okay, so the downside is you can never switch off. You have to work every hour God sends. You lose family and friends that don't support you because you're having to miss out on birthdays and stuff.
Right.
But if you're prepared to do that because you know that's what it takes to be successful, then that's not a downside.
But you know, you're not being successful if you're working 24/7 a day, every day. Yeah, you're not being successful. Yeah.
And of course, again, the downside is you are responsible for income. There's less security and stuff like that, but some people don't really think. Some people prefer having that.
What have we got, 70 staff now?
Approaching, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I used to think, Christ, I've got to get out and pay them every month. Yeah, but if you think about it, it'll kill you. Yeah, we will. Yeah. 70 people, what's that? So my wage bill's whatever, £1 million a year. Yeah. If I woke up every morning thinking my wage bill's over £1 million
And this isn't for you personally, by the way. You're talking about the 80 people, not your own wage bill.
Yeah. Not my own wage bill. No, mine's 2. Joke. No, but I'm just saying, if you woke up every morning
worrying about that sort of stuff.
about your business, you'll be in a mental home.
Well, it's like, I mean, we went to see Floyd Mayweather at the weekend, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he said, always think about winning going forwards. If you think about stepping back and bad things, then that's
what
where you'll
did you
end
do
up.
successful? Make it better. You know, we came into business and we were better. So now what can we do to make it even better than Hannells was 2 years ago? Yeah, and we're putting things in place. Always try and strive and improve and stuff. But if you worry about your business 24 hours a day, you'll be in a mental home. Full stop.
So if you could go back to day one of Hannells then, and there was one thing that you would do differently, what would it be?
I'd have grown the business earlier.
In what way? More locations?
More locations. I'd have gone all over Derbyshire and then seen where it had gone from then. It's like, you can't say what if and things like that, because, what ifs are all what ifs, aren't they? Yeah. What if, I have a comfortable lifestyle. It could have been better if it had increased, but... Yeah.
What are some of the sacrifices? Do you feel like you've had to make sacrifices?
No, what have I had to sacrifice? I've worked harder. I worked a lot harder in my younger years, to grow the business to where it is, I've been fortunate enough that I've got Ali and you, who are great business people, to lead the business, So I've got you there, I've got Oliver there, I've got Ali there. Yeah, my business is in good hands. If I flopped off tomorrow... Hannells will still thrive to go. I do believe I have been a figurehead, a spearhead of the business for the beginning of the business, and I do, because Ali's not into that. Ali's not into the social side of business and stuff.
The behind the scenes,
bit. She's hands on in there. Don't give a shit about the outside. Whereas I'm more about spreading the word, spreading the brand. I'm the Darley Park guy, I'm the Mickleover Club guy, I'm getting it out there, and that's what I like doing.
This could get tricky.
Oh, go on.
What's it? You've already talked about this synergy between you and Ali, so husband and wife, and why you think that worked at the time. Yeah. What about having sons in the business?
Ooh.
What's that like?
Been hard, been tough. Yeah, it's... got to think on that one. It's. I enjoy it. Yeah, I was disappointed when Ollie went a few years ago, but he's back. But it's like dealing with you, Ben. I can't. I struggle to distance from father and son.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas you can divide between son and father.
Okay.
Do you understand that? At work.
How do you mean?
Well, because whatever we talk about, if you're talking about business, you're talking about business, and you're talking to me as a business owner.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not talking to me as your dad.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's difficult because you've got that. I haven't got that. So sometimes, it does get to me, but I understand how you are. Yeah. So you're all for the business. So when I thought me nasty thought, not nasty about you, but my nasty thought, oh, why is he like that? But then I think, well, God, my business is in good hands.
So it's a gift and a curse, a pro and a con.
It's a pro, it's a gift and a curse. Yeah. Ollie's Ollie, isn't he? He's just like gregarious.
I see him as you. I see him as like a younger version. When you look at how both of your lives have progressed, I think there's a lot of similarities. And the fact that you would both disagree with that so strongly is just another reason as to why it's true.
I think there's a bit of you and me. You and Ollie and me, myself. Yeah. So, you got to forget. There's one thing you forget. I got expelled from school. I went to Borstal when I was 17. Yeah. I had no exams, no nothing.
So did you, going back to those earlier days then, and this isn't just to
I could have gone down the wrong path.
Yeah, but did you ever see yourself back then becoming a business owner or an entrepreneur?
No, never thought of it.
So where did your drive to be successful come from? Were you just?
I've always been driven to be successful in whatever I do.
Yeah,
work wise.
Where do you think? I think I get that from you. I definitely think I get that from you.
I'm not the best at any sport, but I can partake in any sport.
Yeah,
and I'll strive to be as good as I am. You know what I mean? It's all about the adaptability and things, isn't it? It's weird. I've always been motivated, but like I said, what money I was on when I was in 88, 89, why did I want to be a business on my own when I was earning that money?
So if I was to say to you then, you said earlier, and what would you have done differently? It would have been started earlier.
Oh yeah, I would have started the business.
But the reason that you didn't start earlier, because you already had the lifestyle that you wanted at the time.
Fate's everything, isn't it? Fate is everything. It's, it happens. It's everything happens for a reason. Yeah, I'm not singing out the old Bible here or anything, but I'm just saying everything happens for a reason in life. Yeah, and I was fortunate enough. I met Ali. She was a mortgage advisor. She was doing investments. Investments were going down. I'd lost my job and I was doing a job I wasn't happy with. And then this opportunity came and we took it.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is you can only connect those dots looking backwards, can't you?
Yeah.
You can never see what's coming up in front of you.
No, if I hadn't have gone to Leicester that night, met Ali with my friend Max, yeah, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah. Well, it's the same for me. If you hadn't had a conversation with my mum for the first time,
yeah, exactly,
I won't be here.
Exactly.
So it's just random events can spark off huge, it's that compound effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
So over those 17 years of being Mr. Hannells,
yeah,
what's your proudest moment? What's the one memory that sticks out that you will always remember no matter what? Or what would you say your biggest success has been?
One of the biggest successes?
Yeah.
Saying to somebody, I'm Mr. Hannell, and you're going to let my daughter sing on stage in front of 20,000 people. And they said, of course, sir. You're Mr. Hannell.
So again, that's a result of you building the business and being able to pass on great experiences to the people around you. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's with Gracie then obviously singing at the Dolly Park concert.
Yeah.
Okay. Toughest decision? What's been your most difficult decision?
Letting you get rid of Ollie.
Well, you say letting me get rid of Ollie. He handed his notice in.
With a little bit of help from you and Ali. Yeah. No. No, I love Ollie to pieces, but he needed to go out there in the big wide world and find himself. And I can honestly say he's found himself now. He's come back to the company, he's come back bigger, better, stronger, more educated, knows about life now. And I think he'll be a really great asset to us now. So, in a way, what he did when he went, I think you did him a favour, but it was still hard because he's my son.
Yeah, and for me, I've just always felt that, particularly in a family business, I think, and I'm not saying that either of us are in either of these categories, but you'll get the people that, want to go in there and make things happen and work really hard, and then you'll get the people that have the attitude, well, this is the family business, I'm just going to come in here and do the minimum amount required. And
in 2004, I sacked my sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
She didn't talk to me for 3 years.
So, there's some of the downsides of bringing
family. Yeah,
family. It doesn't always work out, does it?
No, and people... I will bring this up. People are amazed about the relationship that me and Ali have in business. We've been split up 5, 6 years now. A lot of people still think we're together.
Yeah,
but we're not. But we have a great relationship. We're great friends.
I would say you have a better relationship now working in the business together than you did when you were together. Maybe.
Probably because when you're together, that's all you got to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah, it is 24/7.
24/7, and it was one of the reasons that whatever. But we're not going there. That's not for this conversation.
But it is a risk, isn't it, of going into business with your partner?
But like you say, if you go into business with your partner, make sure you've got different assets to each other.
And would you say as well that when you are at home, don't talk about business?
No. If you're having tea or how's your day been, blah 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 blah. Yeah, you do that over tea. Yeah, but then it's like now. If I'm working, when I'm working, once I work, my brain's switched off. It is. You've got to switch it off. You can't, because like I said earlier on, you'll go mental if you think about your business all the time. Yeah, one of the greatest things you can do in business is build a team around you. Yeah, that's what you've got to concentrate on. Build a team around you. Yeah, who understand you understand them, know the requirements of what you want and things like that. I think at Hannells, I've got a great team with you and Ali. Yeah, but I think you've got a great team with your managers. Your manager's got a great team. We've got staff been with us 15 years, 16 years and stuff like that, Yeah, we're all a team together. And that's one of our ethoses, and it's that. And if we've got to speak to them, we'll speak to them face to face and tell them. We won't hide it or make it an issue.
So of all your experience so far then in building a successful business, you've already mentioned a couple of bits with regards to adaptability and building a brand. Mm-hmm. If you could pick one thing that you would lecture on in uni about building a successful business, and you could give somebody the very first step to take to get this right is X, what would you teach, and what would that first step be?
Brand awareness.
Okay, so what would be the first step towards somebody building a business with great brand awareness?
You've got to make sure you've got the right brand to build, if you get my meaning. Yeah. It's
How do you know if it's a good brand or not?
You've got to build it into a good brand. Yeah, it's, I saw this yesterday. My friend Dean Jackson Hoob, yeah, and all his branding and things like that. I mean, Dean's brand's ginormous. Massive.
Yeah, it's got a
and
great look to it.
And he's a phenomenal businessman, and he's a good friend. Yeah, and we do lots together and stuff like that. And we're of similar ilk, so I can't wait to hear his podcast, and I will listen to it. I promise you that. So yeah, but Dean's a brand man. He's all about brand. He's about investing in. He invests in Derby. He's no need to invest in Derby. His company is an international company.
Yeah, he's in 32 countries.
32 countries. Yeah. And yet he still spends all his money in Derby. I mean, what a guy. Yeah, stuff. But we do it because we're in Derby. And I'm a strong believer, if you don't give back to the community don't give back to you. Yeah. And it's only a small percentage you will do that. Yeah. But I don't see anybody else do what we do.
So when you do, because obviously, for example, Darley Park, that's a big chunk of money that could be spent elsewhere, which we have conversations about on a regular basis. So
they don't like me doing it, I'm going to tell you.
No, well, it depends what your motives are. Yeah. Do you do that? Because like you say, that could be going into your back pocket. Like genuinely, that money that you spend could be going back into the business or your back pocket. But do you do it to get business, or do you do it because you want to give something back to the community?
I do it for both. I do it because I do it for the community, yeah. But at the same time, I'm a businessman. I'm doing it for business reasons, yeah. That's advertised for 7 months of the year. It's the biggest event in Derbyshire, and it's called the Hannells Darley Park Concert. I mean, what more do you want? Yeah. And in marketing, we all know, and anybody who's in marketing will know, 50% of our marketing is absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, the only problem is we don't know which 50% it is, and we never will know. Yeah, because even though we ask staff to ask them tick this, they'll never tick the boxes because they won't.
Because they could have seen 6 things leading up to that eventual one that caused them to make the call.
So we never know. So I'm all about brand. Yes, it costs us a lot of money. Yes, we spend lots of money, but I think we get it back tenfold from the what's our 35% of the market, 36% of the market
of the new market. But of the sold market, it's got to be reaching maybe 50% above that now.
Yeah, we've got over 50% of the sold market. Yeah, we haven't got that just by not doing nothing.
So build a strong brand is your message for people who are about to start in business, whether it's an estate agency, a sportswear company.
Make sure you build your business around the brand.
Okay. So you've met a lot of business people. You're a successful business person yourself. You mix with lots of successful business people. Yeah. If you could pick maybe like 2 or 3 attributes that you think are required to build a successful business from a person to be a successful entrepreneur, what are the 2 or 3 attributes that you'd go for?
Arrogance.
And you mean that mixed in with confidence?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to protect your business. Yeah, I've told you, there's no friends in business. Business to business. Yeah, most of my friends in business, have nothing to do with my business. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. We've all got friends in business. Yeah, and they do different businesses, and they're friends. Yeah. But I'm on about related business associates. Yeah. So to do with my business,
you've got to be out for yourself.
You've got to be out for yourself. Yeah, because trust me, they're knocking on your door to get money out of your pocket, and they'll be your friend for years.
There's no win-win. It's got to be win-lose.
It's got to be win-lose. Yeah. It has. It does. So you need that arrogance. Yeah, and you've got to have that attitude that if you're going to stamp on somebody's head if he's in the way. Yeah, because if you've not got that attitude, you're not an entrepreneur. Yeah, if you're not going to stand on somebody's head, and dunk him under the water so you can get to the other side, don't go into business.
But you don't mean literally.
No, I don't mean literally.
You just got to clear that up just to make sure.
I don't mean literally. Yeah. No, but you've got to have that fire. You've got to have that passion. Yeah. I closed the biggest estate agent in Derby down because they tried to emulate me. I wound them up. I knew what I had to do, and that's what I did. And that was one of my goals. And I was successful at it because they were in my way because they had the market share I wanted.
What would you say the best piece of advice you've been given? We've already talked about the guy who said, carve a path for other people to follow, but is there anything that sticks out over the years that you've...
There's only that one, to be honest. Yeah, it's, it's like I said earlier, and you just touched on it, so it's just jogged my memory. 3-year, 5-year, 10-year plans, I won't bother. I don't know what it's all about. I don't know where it comes from and stuff like that because I don't know any big businessmen who say, I've got a 3-year or 5-year plan.
Well, it's what the banks ask for, isn't it? Yeah, and then that trickles down into people thinking you must have it to start a business.
Exactly, yeah. But if you've got goals you want to achieve, set them down by all means. Yeah. I've achieved a lot of my goals. I've still got a couple more that I want to achieve and stuff in business and personal life. So it's that way. But you need the passion, you need the fire. Yeah, you've got to have that. You want to get up in the morning attitude. And did I know if I'd enjoy estate agency? Never knew. But boy, I wouldn't change it.
That's interesting because a lot of people will say, if you're going to start a business that you're passionate about.
No.
But you weren't passionate about estate, but you were passionate about sales.
I was passionate
and service.
I was passionate about corporate and service. Yeah, that's what I was passionate about. So I could have gone into any industry. I believe I can go and run any business now with my knowledge because I didn't know the accounting side of business when I started in business. Yeah, and I had a good tutor, a good mentor. Yeah, and I was on the figures every day. Yeah, and you've got to do that. Yeah, cash is king. Always remember, cash is king.
You mentioned mentors there. Are there any mentors or people that have helped you along in life that stand out in your mind? Is there anybody in particular that has played an important part in your own success?
Oh, Ali, you. Yeah, you need some people. In business, you got to have things to bounce off and stuff like that. Yeah, because being in business can be lonely. And I'm sure it can be lonely sometimes, you know what I mean? Yeah, but, I've got you to bounce off, I've got Ali to bounce off. Yeah, I make bad decisions, I make wrong decisions. So but I make good decisions. But it's nice to have that to bounce off and stuff like that. Mentors, no, I'm basically self-taught. And Ali's self-taught. The things we've learned over the 70, we've had to learn them together. Yeah, we've had to learn to run this business and to employ people, and it's all been self-taught. We've never had mentors or things like that.
And so if you could take that knowledge and experience back to 21-year-old Michael and you could give him one piece of advice that you think would make the biggest difference, what would it be?
Do it now. Yeah. But the only thing is, you see, that's at age 21. Would somebody do or listen to me at that age?
You never know, do you?
You don't know. But I could have done something else probably. Because obviously I had it in me.
If you could recommend one book to the listeners, be it on being a salesperson or an entrepreneur, which one would you go for?
If you want to read about a real entrepreneur, yeah, and he's about arrogance, yeah, he's about passion, he's about stepping on people's toes, stepping on people's heads, under the water greatly. Richard Branson, without a shadow of a doubt.
The first one or the second one? Do you know which one would it be?
I think it was the first one.
Okay.
The one where he signed the fag packet with Chris Evans and
I can't remember what the name of the book is, but I'll put it in the show notes. So for anybody that wants to learn about any more of the resources that we've talked about, they will be at benjaminbrain.co.uk/Michael-Brain. I'm staying on that book theme.
Yeah.
If you could write a book about your own journey in business so far, what would you call it?
Well, it'd be one of two. Maybe it probably would be, arrogance is only confidence that business people understand.
Okay, I like that. What would be the other one?
Well, it'd be about the path in business. Yeah. Don't follow the path of other successes. Yeah, make your own path for others to follow.
So something around a title around that sort of...
Yeah, theme, yeah.
So to summarise all of that 17 years experience and everything that you've learnt and that you've been through, the highs and the lows and the challenges and the successes, and we were sat in front of somebody who's about to start in business today but had no experience of being an entrepreneur, and you could leave them with just 3 short pieces of advice, what would they be?
Build a great brand. Whatever it is, make sure it's better than the other brands. And the third thing, make sure you deliver what you say you're going to deliver.
Okay. 3 great pieces of advice.
So many people say they can deliver and they can't.
Yeah, walking the walk or talking the talk, but then not walking the walk.
Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for being so honest and open with your answers as well. I've definitely learnt a lot about not just the Hannells history, but my family history as well. So it's been an interesting one. Thanks for coming on the show. No,
it's been good. Now, a lot of people ask me, and I've listened to a few and stuff, and I thought, we've got to go there and stuff, and I think it'll be a good one. I think everybody's going to listen to it. And
well, it's episode 30, so we have to do something special.
Yeah, that'd be good, and I'm looking forward to the others. I'm looking forward to Dean coming on and stuff, so I'm glad. And,
I've got some. I've had some great guests, and I've got some great guests coming up as well.
That's good.
So,
it's been good. I've enjoyed talking to you.
Okay, and to all the listeners, as usual, thank you for tuning in, and look forward to catching up with you on next week's episode of The Truth About Business. One final thing before you go. If you enjoyed this interview and want to make sure you don't miss out on the next episode with another real-life business champion, make sure you subscribe via iTunes, Spotify, your favourite podcast app, or by visiting my blog at benjaminbrain.co.uk and hitting subscribe. At the blog, you'll also find the show notes to this episode, which includes all the relevant links to the website, social media channels, contact details, and anything else that was discussed in the episode. Just type in the name of the guest, and that will bring that right up for you. And finally, I'm always on the search for great business owners who would be happy to spare just a couple of hours of the time to share their business experience with our audience. So if you know of anyone that would make a great guest, or you'd like to feature yourself, just let me know. Send an email to hello@benjaminbrain.co.uk and I'll reply personally as soon as possible. Also, if you've got any feedback, questions that you'd like me to ask our guests, or any other suggestions, I am definitely all ears. That email address again is hello@benjaminbrain.co.uk. So that's it for this episode. I just want to thank you sincerely for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay hungry, stay fearless, get out there and make it happen.